Hello YouTube fans, here again. Hopefully I won't be coughing me nuts off like I did this today. Hopefully my coffee's getting a bit better. I have a bit of a cough lately. All I can say to you, the fans, it's good, and as I say in the song, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. And it's good to be back to see you, the YouTube fans. And why not, why not? As I'm going through an 80s marathon, I figured, why not talk about this one? Why not talk about this one? That might be a baldy off my nose. That being from the 82 action movies, what I'm doing. We're now going into 1982, as you know. And why not this one? Another sci-fi, another sort of action film with one of my favourite actors. In fact, two of my favourite actors. That being Jeff Bridges, another one being David Warner. I always like David Warner. I always remember the classic scene in The Omen where he gets beheaded. But yeah, David Warner as the main villain. I also liked him as the villain when he did Time Bandits and all. So I think at the time a lot of people liked David Warner because, as we know, I did the review of Time Bandits. He played a villain in that. And one year after, being this movie Tron, that's the name of the film, he played a villain in this. And I do know a couple of years after this, they originally were going to have him play the role of Freddy Krueger. That's right. Freddy Krueger himself. David Warner originally was going to be tasked that role. But there were certain reasons why he never got the role, and as we all know, one way I'm kind of happy because the role went to Robert England. That's a different story. But like I say, in 1982, Walt Disney decided to do their version of Star Wars. Star Wars was big, it was too big, you know what I mean? A couple of years, they made the final one, that being The Empire Strikes Back, and they wanted to make their own version of Star Wars. So Walt Disney thought of this idea. Why not make a film? At the time, Arcade James, I might get the word right, Arcade James, like Video Games, Pac-Man, Space Invaders, all these well-known arcade games were very popular. They was popular. So they thought, would it be a really cool idea to have a guy trapped in a computer game, trapped in a computer world, and his only way he could get out of the game world is to play the game. So that's where they thought the idea. Why not do the movie and we call it Tron? And Jeff Bridges being a big star at that time, you know what I mean? A couple of years he was doing classics, let's say like King Kong, the remake. He was doing a lot of other big films. He starred with Clint Eastwood. He's been in loads and loads of films. So Jeff Bridges was a big icon, you know, for the 70s and 80s. So decided let's do the film Tron. Which normally I've got to be open and I've got to be honest, I cannot stand Walt Disney. I think Walt Disney films suck asses. They suck ass. That's just my opinion. For people give me boo-hoo letters. We've all got opinions. It makes the world an interesting place. But it's like the movie Splash. Walt Disney was going to do Splash. You want to know something? Thank God they didn't get the rights. Because when I saw the Terrifies sequel to Splash, it was complete and utter garbage. What was done by Walt Disney. But again, a different story. So in 1982, decided to do the movie Tom. But they didn't just want to do it with Jeff Bridges wearing silly costumes and running about and all this. They wanted to really make it look like he was in the computer world. And now I look at Tom. How do I look at it? I look at Tom like it's two different movies. Because you've got him in the normal world, looking like me, looking like you, looking like every guy. Right? And he works in the arcade game business. And you got the idea about Toffin. That David Warner, who's his high-up boss, has ripped him off and he stole Jeff Bridges' ideas. This time he's trying to hack into the computer to kind of nick his ideas back. But I always find this interesting. It's interesting because this is like, you know, well before the internet. Well before the internet. So this film isn't really... It's dated well when you think about it. He's trying to hack into this game, done hack, and he doesn't get anywhere. Because David Warner knows what he's doing, thinking, oh, my little hacker's back. And he, you know, blocks him from down the hack and finding his game world. So he's got two mates who work in this computer company where David Warner works. So he's got ideas, this ruthless boss man. And he wants to get his ideas back because they've been stolen. There were these ideas. He works like in an arcade, Death Princess. And there's a bit where his mates visit him. You might have seen it in the trailer, actually. He says, you see, because they were my ideas. Something like that. He really goes raving mad at that point, which you can understand. If somebody steals your ideas and they're your ideas, you're going to be pissed. So they sort of sneak him into the thing to get his ideas back from the computer paste, the factory where it's in. If I had this pole down that could put an image, let's say, right, I'll just show you something. Like this, right? To you and to me, it's a stapler. It's only used to staple things. But this computer can laser this and it can actually put it into a computer. It could be in a computer now, right? So that's what this new program is they're working on. So Jeff Bridges is broken to this computer world. He's trying to hack into it, and it says, "I'm going to have to stop you. Stop!" And it lasers him, and it puts him into the computer world. And I do know there was a lot of work in it, and there was a lot of mess ups in the film. For people don't know this, and I remember saying this on a review before. There's bits where the line digs a little bit here, and a bit where it thickers here when it's in the computer world, right? They had a few hacks there, so they had to go to a Chinese company to try and buy their ideas. This was the very first time you had stop motion. Well, not stop motion. You could say this is the first time you use CGI. But I admit this is the time I think it rubs off for this type of film. It rubs off for this type of bloody film. So he's in a computer world and he's got to play a game, right? I love the bit where he folds that fist bear and he whacks people down. I love that scene. And the most iconic scene is the bit where he's on the motorbike and he's riding that motorbike and he's a slave. And you've got the same actors like David Warner, his mates who are at work. I do love the girl. You got an idea she was a love interest and she might have been Death Bridges' ex-girlfriend. Who I do remember, there was a bit of an interesting story here, I might have told you. She put a little bit of pounds on, a bit like me, I put a bit of weight on, right? And she was asked to use weight because she had to slim down for the outfit she was wearing, you know, have a nice figure. She was a very attractive woman, still was an attractive woman. And she had to slim down anyway. So she lost a few pounds to do this film. And it definitely rubbed off. She looks really beautiful, really pretty. Really nice to look at. Her Amy Cost getting better. And so on. So he escapes anyway to cut the story short, and he's now on the run, right? You've got these villains. I love the fact they have red lasers, he has blue lasers. You've got to see Tron. If you've never seen Tron, you've got to see it. It's a damn good film. It's a damn good film. So it's all computer graphics. He does computer graphics, and that big duck of helmet on his film. And I do know that this was Jeff Bridges' favourite film, and I can see why. It is a damn good film. It's a classic. It's a classic, and normally I don't like Walt Disney films. I really don't. The kiddified, the sloppified. I didn't like what they've done with the new Star Wars. I'm sorry, right, the Star Wars fans out there. I used to be one. I still am, on the old Star Wars. But since Walt Disney stole the ideas, well, it used to be their idea anyway, what have they done? What have they done? But at the end of the day, I like this one. They've already, think about it, Walt Disney's already done Star Wars. This is Star Wars in Walt Disney World. So he's fighting David Warner, turns into this big duck of giant. He blinds him with the fist bear. He jumps. You got the idea, he jumps to Dane world. He comes back to normal world. Computer destroys the computer, puts David Warner out of business. You got the idea that he's took over the business, and it ends. His mates are now working with him. They're all some buddies. Happy ending. A happy ending, which I very rarely see these days. Now I do know in the early 2000s they made a sequel. It's not bad, but the bits where you got a CTR lung Death Bridges, the only highlight in that film is Death Bridges. In my eyes, the other actors, pieces of blood in mud, just there because they look pretty. Death Bridges is the only decent thing in the follow-up to that film. The only decent thing, but it does have a shitty downbeat ending. But it's never rubbed off because they never followed it on. So it's not like let the sequel play ending. And the CGI of the lung Death Bridges, it's basically just You can see it's fake. You can see it's fake. This, on the other hand, it has no faults in it. I think Death British plays it really good. I love the bits where they're in the computer world. The idea you can get killed for real. There's a bit where a guy gets killed for real, which is that ballsy for Walt Disney. One of the guys who he escapes with, he gets killed halfway through the film. He bleeds and you got the idea he dies, which is pretty sad. So you got the idea in this, it's not just a game, you could get killed for real, and I thought I like that. But for Walt Disney, that was like balls. It wasn't too kiddified, if you know what I mean. So what can I say about Tom? From 1982, I thought the effects for the time was pretty good. I think it still holds up today. It's very interesting. There's a bit when you're on the computer, and this was like before, well before the internet. I like Tron. I think it's a classic. I can stick it on any time when there's nothing on. I can watch it on one of my hard drives. It's a dudder into them. Laser out for some more movies, more movie reviews. It's good to be back. As I say, one of my favourite songs. It's good to be back. Well, it's called It to Be Stared, but I just put my own words on it. It's good to be back. And my cough's getting a little bit better. So hopefully I'll do some more movies, more movie reviews. But into them, be smart, be safe, and I'll see you later.